You're going to hear the word recession, and your brain will do something ancient. It will scan for danger. It will look for the fastest exit. It will whisper the most expensive sentence in personal finance. I just need to do something. And that's exactly what ruins people. Because in a recession, the real threat isn't the stock market chart. It's not inflation. It's not layoffs. It's not the headlines. It's the moment fear convinces you to make a permanent decision to fix a temporary problem. So today, I want to give you one rule you can hold on to when everything feels unstable. Never let fear force you into an irreversible money move. Not the kind you kinda recover from, the kind you never recover from. And if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. In every recession, some people get wiped out, and other people quietly set themselves up for the next decade. The difference isn't luck, it's preparation. So let's talk about what not to do and what to do instead so you can walk through the storm with your head up and your finances intact. Before we jump in, this video is for informational purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, or investment advice. Always follow the law and consult qualified professionals for your personal situation. All right, the mistake that destroys people. If you've ever watched a market crash in real time, it's not one bad day. It's a drip, a slow leak, a death by 1,000 headlines type of fall. Down 1%, down 2%, down 3%. Then you wake up and think, maybe I should stop checking. But you keep checking. And eventually, you start doing math in your head you were never supposed to do. You start calculating your losses like they're permanent. You start imagining the worst-case scenario like it's guaranteed. And then comes the fatal move. You sell, you cash out, you lock it in. And here's the tragedy. The market doesn't need you to panic to hurt you, but it will reward you if you stay disciplined when everyone else is emotional. Historically, markets have had plenty of down years. That's normal. What's not normal is turning a downturn into a lifelong setback because you made a fear decision at the bottom. So yes, panic selling is one of the biggest never-do-this moves in a recession. But fear shows up in other disguises too. It shows up as reckless debt. It shows up as get-rich-quick bets. It shows up as ignoring risks that can actually ruin your life. So instead of just yelling, "Don't sell," I want to build you an all-weather plan, a recession-proof foundation, so you're not even tempted to make panic decisions. Because the best way to avoid a bad decision is to design a life where you don't need to make one. Step 1. Make your money bulletproof, starting with what could destroy you. Most people obsess over the risk of investing, but the risks that actually wreck lives aren't always on a stock chart. It's the stuff you don't think about until it happens. A major medical event, a disability, a car accident that turns into a lawsuit, a house fire, a storm, a death in the family. Those are catastrophic risks, and you don't tighten the budget your way out of them. So here's something people don't say enough in personal finance. Insurance is part of building wealth, not because it makes you money, because it keeps one bad day from erasing 10 good years. If you want to be financially bulletproof, you need appropriate coverage. Health insurance that actually protects you from massive bills. Auto insurance with liability that matches reality. Renters or homeowners insurance. And depending on your situation, term life insurance and disability coverage. Because recessions don't pause real life. And if you're underinsured, a recession is when the cracks show up the loudest. Step 2. Build an emergency fund. Not because it's exciting, but because it's power. Let me say it plainly. If you don't have cash reserves, you don't have options. You have reactions. And reactions are expensive. A strong emergency fund does two things. It keeps a job loss from turning into a debt spiral. It keeps fear from forcing you to sell investments at the worst time. The classic target is 3 to 6 months of living expenses, not luxury expenses, not nice-to-have spending. Your fixed costs, your survival number. And yes, I know, when people say build an emergency fund, some folks roll their eyes, because cash feels like missing out. But here's the twist. Cash isn't an investment, it's an insurance policy for your behavior. It's what keeps you calm when everything gets noisy. And calm
is profitable. Step 3. Budget like a detective, because leaks sink ships. In a recession, a lot of people claim they don't spend that much, and then you look at their bank statement and it's like a slow-motion money heist. Subscriptions, eating out, convenience spending, random charges that don't feel like anything until you add them up. So here's your recession rule. Know exactly what's coming in each month and where every dollar is going. Not to punish yourself, to see reality clearly. Because if you don't know your numbers, fear fills in the blanks. And fear always overestimates danger. Budgeting isn't about being cheap, it's about choosing. Cut the waste, not the joy. And don't get distracted by the latte effect debate. Yes, small spending matters, especially if you're lower income, but the biggest damage comes from the decisions with extra zeros. Which brings us to the next never do this. Step 4. Never make big, permanent purchases out of anxiety. Recessions create a weird psychological trap. People feel uncertain, so they chase certainty. And sometimes that looks like financing a brand new car because at least I'll have something reliable. Upgrading housing because rates might change. Taking on giant student loans because the job market is scary. But big debt doesn't create safety, it creates obligation. So here are 3 recession landmines to avoid. The brand new car trap. A new car payment can quietly become your financial prison. If you have to finance, at least use a rule like 20% down, 3-year term, and keep the payment under 8% of gross income. Or buy a reasonable used car in cash if you can. The expensive degree with no plan trap. Student loans can be useful, but they're not free money. Don't take out-of-state private university debt for a degree that doesn't pay for itself. Pick education like an investor, not like a dreamer with a brochure. And the housing squeeze trap. If half your income goes to housing, you're living on a tightrope. Roommates, downsizing, moving, even temporarily. It can be the difference between surviving and drowning. In a recession, margin matters, and margin often comes from humility. Step 5. Treat income like a survival skill. When people panic in a recession, it's usually because they're staring at one fragile pillar holding up their entire life. One job, one paycheck, one company. So, if you want to recession-proof your life, you need a simple goal. Stay employable, stay flexible, stay valuable. In the short term, that might mean something unsexy, working full-time, picking up gig work, taking a second job to hit 40 hours. Not forever, just long enough to stabilize the foundation. But in the long term, the real play is bigger than having a job. It's building a career. That usually means post-high school skill building, certifications, trade training, apprenticeships, college, whatever makes sense for your path.
And yes, it takes time. But recessions don't reward people who are busy. They reward people who are useful. If you can solve problems, communicate, adapt, and deliver results, you become harder to replace. And when layoffs hit, being harder to replace is everything. Step 6. Never try to make it back fast. This is where recessions turn into personal finance horror stories. People see losses and they can't tolerate the feeling, so they chase a shortcut. Options gambling, crypto moonshots, meme stocks, leveraged sure things, risky real estate plays with no cushion. And it always starts with the same justification. I'm behind, I have to catch up. But the market doesn't care that you feel behind. And trying to recover quickly is how you compound a loss into a disaster. In a recession, the smartest move is usually the most boring. Diversify. Keep costs low. Keep investing consistently. Which leads to the move that separates people who build wealth from people who constantly restart. Step 7. Don't stop investing. Just adjust your plans so you can stick with it. If you're investing for retirement, your superpower is time. And time only works if you keep showing up. So yes, aim for 15 to 25% of your gross income toward retirement if you can. And if you can't yet, start with $5 a month. I'm serious.
Because it's not just about the dollars, it's about the identity. I'm the kind of person who invests even when things are hard. Use low-cost broad index funds when appropriate. Keep it simple, don't get cute. And if you're closer to needing your money, like nearing retirement, make sure your plan matches your reality. There's a difference between how much risk you tolerate and how much risk you can afford. That's not fear, that's math. One more never do this that nobody wants to talk about. This part is sensitive, but it matters. Don't stack life-changing responsibilities on top of financial instability. If you're not in a stable relationship, emotionally and financially, be careful about rushing into things that permanently raise your cost of living. Kids are amazing and also expensive. A recession is hard enough without adding pressure you didn't plan for. This isn't about judgment, it's about building a stable base so your future family isn't built on stress. The ending nobody expects. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A recession doesn't just test your money, it tests your identity. It asks, are you a long-term thinker or a short-term reactor? Because the real recession danger isn't the economy, it's the moment you do something irreversible, selling at the bottom, taking on toxic debt, making a massive purchase you can't afford, gambling to catch up, ignoring the risks that could wipe you out, living without margin and calling it normal. So if you want one sentence to carry with you, it's this: never let fear make a permanent decision for a temporary season. Build the emergency fund, get the insurance, know your numbers, protect your income. Avoid the big zero mistakes. Invest consistently, even if it's small. And if the headlines get loud, remember, the loudest people online are usually the least prepared. Calm isn't denial. Calm is what preparation feels like. Because the best time to get ready was yesterday. The second best time is right now. If you want, drop your #1 recession fear in the comments. Job loss, inflation, debt, investing, anything. I read those. And if you want a simple next step after this video, pick one thing today that increases your margin, even by a little, and do it before you go to bed. Because when the storm comes, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. And you can prepare, starting now.